make sure. Yeah, so we should have 2 months of meeting minutes. And I guess, Laura, I maybe I'm gonna start with, have you looked at any of the meeting minutes?
I have. Yep. I've
You
read
have?
the minutes.
Okay.
Having not been there, obviously, I don't know if they're accurate, but I'm going to say that I think that they probably are.
And did they, I guess, did they logically make sense,
Yes.
to give you the sense of kind of where we're at and what's going on?
Yes, absolutely. So I kind of feel relatively up to date and I feel comfortable approving.
Okay. All right. So with that being the case, then, why isn't this still, there it goes. Oh no. Why is CPC coming back up again? I swear mine's now, whatever you did, it came to me, Laura.
What's that?
Issues.
So whatever issue Laura was having, it's now come to me.
Passing it around. Contagious.
Yes. I like doing that. If I've got to suffer, everybody has to suffer.
That's how I would describe you, I think, is as that style of person.
I hate to be that person. I really
Hopefully
do.
you can see my face and know that I'm
Yes.
kidding.
Yes, I can.
This is really weird. What happened?
Is it because of the recording and transcription just kicked in?
No, it literally, this was I was in this. I don't know. It's now back up.
Finish my dinner while you all have.
It wasn't. It didn't. It didn't seem to be working correctly. So, I forget the dates off the top of my head, but I'm gonna say, so with that being the case, then I'll make a motion to approve the April and May meeting minutes that Chris had, Chris had sent out and posted.
I shall make a motion.
Okay. All right.
I shall
and
make
then
a second motion.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll approve. We'll get that. Yeah, you've seconded, and all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
There we go. All right. Cool. All right. So with that, then director's report.
All right.
Your dinner looks so much healthier than mine, but I'm going to guarantee you mine was tastier. It was called Ben and Jerry's, the Tonight Dough.
Ooh.
And it was the entire pint. Gosh darn it, I did it.
Proud of you.
I call it ICFD, ice cream for dinner.
Yeah. No, I will disagree with the healthy, maybe healthier, but I will disagree with healthy in that it is Chengdu because
Okay.
I was rushing from work to daycare here. Grace was rushing home from work. My sister-in-law is over tonight, and so we were like, takeout kind of night.
I miss them. I used to eat them when I lived in Mansfield. They're good.
Yeah, we can walk to them. So we luckily don't go there, I would say, too much, but it is one of our go-tos.
Yeah.
Well, next time you go, eat it on my behalf, and then you didn't eat it.
There you go. Right, doesn't count. Doesn't count if somebody else did it, right?
That's right.
This is for
Same
Laura.
with my ice cream for dinner.
Yeah. So, director's report. So May financials haven't come out yet. So these are actually the same financials as last director's report, because they did come out. April did come out for a meeting. So
yes, yeah.
These are still April. So nothing has changed there. But we are going to definitely dive into a financial conversation. So I'm skipping past just because that will be part of what we're talking about tonight. So Kids at Play, I don't know, Laura, with reading the meeting minutes and everything obviously going on with you, if you were able to keep up with some of the emails that were flying by, and actually Rick, even with your busyness, but basically, I threw up the, flag and the alarm to Kristen that Kids at Play registration numbers are incredibly low. Like
really?
last year, week 1, we were averaging 90 something kids a day. Now that was a high. We probably for the full summer were more in the 70s or 80s. But just to give you a sense of like, we were, I would say, averaging low 80s all summer, maybe mid 80s all summer. Right now, we are averaging like 20 something a day.
What the heck?
Yeah. So Rick knows, there's a lot to this. I have a belief that it was a very much like a perfect storm situation. The questions around camp versus program just happened at the worst possible time. The rumor got out that we might not run. The solution to the camp versus program solve really separated the activities to the point where there's like beach, water only and land only. And it seems
Yeah.
like people aren't super psyched about that idea. If they sign up for a beach morning or even afternoon and it's a 60-degree day, they're like, well, I can't just say I'll go play on the field instead. And that was
Right.
one of the nice things, is being able to do things. So it just kind of seems like a perfect storm of a lot of different things. The worst being pretty much pausing, like, are we going to run this program March, April, which is some prime registration time, and that rumor of we might not run and people signing up for other programs. That's
Oy.
kind of what I've gleaned as what happened. But I've we're here, we're facing it. It's true. There's not much we can do. I've been pushing social media, I've been blasting on the website, I've been, we're doing what we can. So I talked to Kristen very frankly last week, and I told her all of this. I gave her specific numbers. The big registration tracking document, I broke it down into half days so it was more accurate and all of that. And I gave her the details. And I really said, we rolled over $100,000 in, our emergency fund almost for rec revolving. And I'm honestly not sure that's going to cover us at this point with these numbers. So I said, we are here. We are probably going to need some money from the town to cover a short, coming up short with revenue to expense, including our rollover money at the rec revolving,
Yeah.
to cover things. It's just, it's absolutely where we're headed. She understood, agrees that it was, really unfortunate timing, and we had a kind of a whole thing there. So, try to just be realistic and face it. She then pinged select board and FinCom saying the same thing and really stating like, this is the reality of what happened. This is why it happened, all of that. And did ask, can rec come up with a projected short? How much are we thinking we're going to be in the hole? I think that's going to be really hard to say because, with the lifeguard side of things, like, we know we have 3 lifeguards. We might be able to take a beach director off the books type of thing, but we know we're going to have 3 lifeguards if we're open. So it's a little bit easier to plan out staffing payroll. With Kids at Play, we cut staffing down to registration numbers. So if we have 90 kids, we have whatever 6-to-1 ratio of staff is for 90 kids. If we have 20 kids, we have whatever 6-to-1 ratio of 20 kids is. So, and yes, we're a month away, but I do think, we're only at 20s. The numbers could even double. So being able to project, are we going to be planning for 20 somethings, 30 something, 40 something a day? I don't know. In order to tell them what our staffing is going to be, because that is going to be our biggest expense over the next month.
Right.
So I didn't get into this level of detail because obviously I wanted to chat with you all, with her to say like, well, that'll be hard. I just said, let me talk to RecCom about it and see what we can come back with. But I think a lot of this, Rick, might be you and me at some point finding time to sit down and see what can we come up with as a guesstimate, even a range, here to here, low end, high end.
Yeah.
Because I can say, all right, if we have 20 staff, it looks like this, or 10 staff, it looks like this, but I don't really know to predict which way we're going with it.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So,
and the gut feel is we're probably gonna be in like a 30s number
Sure, somewhere in the
for
middle,
the
yeah,
majority of the days of all weeks,
yes.
except for field trip days.
Right. Right.
I hope so, because we are very much not filling up field trips right now.
Oh,
But
really?
but
Oof.
we had seen a number of mails come through on being able to sign up for the day of field trips and the field trip type thing. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's it's a very interesting scenario.
Just so you all know, with that, I am probably just gonna pull the trigger in the next week or so and cut Urban Air down to one bus, and one registration with Urban Air. Um, we're not getting 72 kids on a
Yeah.
bus.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Agree.
Um,
Even if it's the week of rain, we're still not getting that number.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
yep, yep. So I think, just pulling the trigger there and planning, and then, if we fill a bus saying we're not opening up a second, we know we're not going to fill it, so no, sorry, that kind of thing.
Right.
So it's gonna be a tough year. The other edit that you all should be aware of is we have a little bit more than a handful of the Kids at Play staff. So on the beach side, we only have one staff member who's not signed off yet, payroll wise, payroll and HR and onboarding wise. And not scheduled for this weekend, so we're fine there, but and hasn't gone through training, but like that's where we're at with those numbers. On the Kids at Play side, we have probably 6, 7 counselors and one team leader who are not signed off yet. My thought is, because we're gonna have to cut so many shifts down to what we usually do, my thought is to potentially put a very soon deadline to say, all right, that's it. If you don't get your onboarding stuff done by, Tuesday, you can't work for us this summer. Your deadline was 2.5 weeks ago. We've
Right.
been sending you weekly reminders, if not twice a week, about the specific items that you need. You had all the chances, all the opportunities, all the information with everybody else. And my thought with doing that, which I've actually never done in the past, is if I hired to be able to staff 90 something, we're only gonna need, eight counselors a day
Right.
now, type of
Right.
thing.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to have to go from, 25 to 8 a day, and then they're getting one shift a week. The people
Yeah.
who aren't
Correct.
getting their stuff together means more shifts for the people who did get their stuff together.
Exactly. No, I'm all
Right.
for that.
So I've never done it before. I've always given them, I had a kid getting signed off the morning that he was going to work. But that, it's just a different year.
It is a different
So,
year, and
letting you all know we might have some very unhappy parents.
Yep.
And kids, but parents.
Well, yeah, that unhappy parents on the side of workers. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
hasn't necessarily always been the case. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
well, then make your
Um,
kids step up. So sorry.
right. Somehow everybody else managed to do it, type of thing. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so that's kind of just the Debbie Downer version of what's going on there. But the reality version, LIT is abysmal. It's just we're not getting stuff. It
Yeah.
is where we're at. Everybody also has been made very aware this is not a 1-year issue. We don't go from 90s to 20s or even 70s to 20s and then bounce back up to 70s the next year.
Right.
We are still planning on transitioning to a camp next year, which once again is going to take a lot of money, more money than running a program. And they do want to get, an estimate on what that's going to cost, which is fine. And, obviously we have a little more time on that one. But, we're going to spend the next few years rebuilding. We're not going to jump back up to what we were. We're going to have to start hiring fewer staff, cutting registration numbers low to kind of keep it, and then hopefully expand every year as we build. But
Yeah.
yeah, we can't hire this many staff next year because we're not going to get 70 people sign up in a day.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and honestly, this is this ends up being one where we unfortunately are going to need the town to step up to cover not only things for this year, probably next year, but as we transition to a camp, right?
yes.
The nurses, nursing aid type of element that needs to be involved, and there's time things there to review medical forms and that type of stuff that we're going to be required to do now. And
Yes.
it's a cost. And
the aquatics director is going to have to be paid more than a beach director. They require like 12 certifications to be called an aquatics director. Who's paying for those certifications?
Oh gosh.
It's not
Yeah.
going to be a $21 an hour position anymore.
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I made that all very clear to Kristen. So she said, again, separately, please give a number to what you think it will take to get us from where we are now to where a camp. And once again, she's not expecting that in the next week. The kids at play shortfall or whatever you want to call it, she is expecting pretty soon. But the other one, she knows it's going to take some time, but she does want to start having these conversations now because she is thinking things like free cash might be an avenue for 1 year, and then you start being in a place to be able to put things in budgets as you're talking about, not this upcoming year type of stuff, not this year, not next year. So
Right.
she definitely is getting creative. She's super, helping us out and figuring stuff out and working with us. I feel really, really good about all of that. It's just the reality of what we're going to have to do over the next few years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And at the same time, I think she's also I'll say she's remorseful about what happened kind of 2 months ago, right?
Yeah.
Things went high, fast, quick without some consultation on our, into us to get a better understanding of where we were at in the first place. And maybe some things were assumed that maybe shouldn't have been assumed that
Mhm.
could have gapped us a little differently while I know that it's risk mitigation 101 for the town. I 100% get it. It's just it's just one of those scenarios where, we, on one hand, nothing but complimentary stuff in terms of the program. It's run, everyone's happy, no one's really complaining, to, oh my God, we got to change the world on how this thing's run. And it's caught us all in the backside. So
Sounds a lot like small town politics to me.
yeah, it's the one thing that I will say though, and if it is true, the information that has come about, and depending on how much you've seen, how much you haven't seen, is it sounds like the state level is driving everybody to this, right?
Oh,
this
absolutely.
this isn't a us only thing. We we may be on the bleeding edge of and I say bleeding based on the low numbers we have right now, right? Pun intended. But
Yep.
we're moving forward based on the information that's been given to us at the town level, and we're making a path to try to get there.
Yeah, I hate to say it, using the same line of words, it's a bloodbath around here. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Victim thereof. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it's I feel, within the rough reality that we're in, I feel really encouraged and supported, in how we're going to dig ourselves out of this. It seems like the town and, the town are still motivated to support rec and all of that. So I obviously am not feeling good, but within the bad, I'm feeling okay about
Always
moving
an
forward, and we'll figure it out.
Yep. Fair enough.
Credit card reader. So after months and months and months of working through things with Square, that was a cannot happen decision. Basically, they just are not set up to be able to handle the red tape or certain restrictions that come with town government. Things like you can't have an account, a government, financial bank account attached somewhere where a company is able to withdraw. That's not allowed. You can't let other people take our money out. Even if they promise they'll never do it.
Yeah.
It just, there needs to be protections, which makes total sense. And Square just isn't set up that way. There's an app where you type in your routing number, your account number, and that's what they do. And I will say, Square definitely tried to see what ways can we work around it. I did my best to see, how many questions can I ask, and is there exceptions, and are there other ways? And it just that there wasn't quite bringing it together. Which is a bummer, because it means that now we're in crunch time of, it's the end of the fiscal year. I was really hoping, that obviously that wasn't a high money item, but if we're buying the my rec credit card reader, that is a couple $100. And I would like that couple $100 to be in FY26.
Exactly.
If it's going to be at all. The other option is, obviously it's not going to be up and running by this weekend. We open the beach this weekend, and we could just do another summer of, what the old method. They type in the credit cards, we'll pay cash or check if they're uncomfortable with that, move it on. And we kind of push this down the line. So that is it. The other thing is, I've been really pinging Kenny, and Kristen's been helping me with this, about getting a better understanding of what things can be charged to the site improvement account, because it has a super vague definition. And even when Kristen talked to Kenny the other day, it sounds like he's even saying it's really vague. It can't be specifically for programs. It can't be like an annual thing, like the annual parking pass fee, or, parking passes or something. But it's really anything to improve the site. So I'm really trying to see, am I understanding that, would a credit card reader, a physical machine, that would be on site, it'd be an improvement to the site? Does that count? I'm not getting a clear answer, but I am getting a little bit of an answer of, the other thing is site improvement and the other accounts that we have that are through town.
Mm-hmm.
We can move money between them freely. None of them really, the other one is for concerts and the other one is for payroll. So none of them really would make sense for it if it's not site improvement. But because of that flexibility, it's not so strict that we can't say, well, if we're not calling it site improvement, maybe we can move $500 over to this account and we can put it there. Shift the money and then bill it to that one. So right. I've been getting kind of a tentative, go ahead and make the purchases you need if you have the money in that account, because let's just, let's figure out where we're going to bill it to and let's get it done, type of thing. So I'm a little hesitant, because in the past, when things weren't allowed to be put in site improvement, they got bounced to rec revolving.
Yeah.
But I think I've asked enough times and gotten enough of a just do it. Little things, right? Like we need we need to touch up paint around Kiwanis. It's terrible. And I was power washing the other day. It's all chip paint and awful. And DPW doesn't have any extra paint cans sitting around of our colors. So, I'm going to go buy some paint and I'm going to touch it up and I'm going to charge the site improvement. Right. The American flag, I'm going to charge the site improvement. Things like that. So I think that I could make an argument for the credit card reader being an improvement to the site. It's not an annual thing. It's on literally on site. I think it fits the requirement. So I guess my question to you all is, I only have, 25 days. Do you give me the okay to try to see if this can get purchased and delivered in time?
I'm all for it. Are you talking a one-time expense of like $200?
I think it's for something. I think it's like 470 or something like that. As the one-time expense. And then the hard part is the credit card fee is the always. But that we already have a credit card fee. This would just be a credit card reader.
Right,
Okay,
right, but it will increase the amount of credit card intake again,
Yes.
which then brings with it a fee amount. Yeah,
Yes.
so it's like a surcharge when you go
yeah,
there, and let's say the cost is $10, you also pay the extra, whatever, 150
So
surcharge.
right now we pay that extra 150.
Oh,
Yeah, I am of the opinion that after this year, meaning after this busy season, so end of summer,
mhm.
we pass those on to the consumer.
yeah, we might have to.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't love it, but I'm not opposed because sometimes you just have to. You're seeing it happen everywhere.
Yep.
There
Yeah.
are restaurants that will only take Venmo. They won't even
Yep.
take credit cards. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, don't start it now. We're in the middle of everything and we're already getting hit. But after this summer, just pull the trigger and say, okay, moving forward, this will be a change. You'll notice it. And then it'll become the new normal. So anyway, if you all are good, I'm gonna, go back to my rec. I've already filled out all the paperwork and everything. I had done that originally. It's just can they ship it and have it be on site before the end of June?
I'm in favor.
Great.
Yeah, I think so as well, and I think we should be able to get that under a site improvement as a one-time thing.
Great.
Right. I mean, even if it's one of those that every 4 or 5 years there's an update or an upgrade that's going to be required to do that. Just as long as in Kenny's words, it's just as long as it's not a recurring year over year, we keep buying a new one because then
Right.
we should be okay.
Right.
Agreed. Couple other just purchases, just so you all are aware of, kind of in the same realm. I feel the same way about a new tablet. There's a tablet for, I think it's like $150 or something, that fits all of our requirements. We've been using a kid's Amazon Fire
Oh, good Lord.
tablet that is this big and it's just awful. So
Oh, man,
again,
we are
if we're
ghetto.
calling it site improvement and our big ticket site improvement things of the softball field and upper building, Kiwanis building, those fell through. We have $16,000. I say we get the things we need to improve our site. Usually I'm pretty frugal, but I say let's just spend a little bit of money right now since we didn't have a different plan with it. Like I said, paint a new American flag, even new signs. I want to talk to Signs Plus. We have a no alcohol permitted sign on the softball field that you can't read anymore. It's so
Right.
worn away. It's so
Yeah.
disheveled. Things like that, just it's not even a new sign, it's just a replacement to something like that.
Yeah.
Couple of the A-frame signs just to replace the handwritten ones that we've used the last 3 years that say, kids that play this side, public that side. Let's get it printed on a sign. Things
Well,
like that. I know that one's
we
more.
need a few more of those. Look where we are now. We need more of those. So we should
Yeah.
definitely improve the ones we have.
Yeah. We I pinged DPW to see if they have anything that they feel like would be good. Dennis said, I wouldn't, anything of their level, they wouldn't want to do on a whim, because most of the ones that are kind of involved, their policies or things are things that have been like voted on by the town or specific wording through lawyers or any of that. And we're not going there. We're just trying to spruce up things with some extra money.
Right.
And again, obviously, I'll be careful not to be programmatic. I know the kids at Play One might cross the line, so maybe not literally that one, but we had a big discussion at the department head meeting today about the First Amendment auditors and the importance of certain signage because it gives you certain permissions. So I asked, and it's going to go through the lawyers, but are we allowed to have a sign posted, even just an A-frame or something that says, no videography or photography of maybe participants in town events, something along those lines, because while I don't think the people in those videos are going to a kid's summer camp, I think technically based on the laws they could video the kids, the counselors, and we can't do anything about it. So
Right.
I'm kind of looking for little things like that. Again, just if we have an idea, let's hit buy, assuming that ensuring it all goes through site improvement.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, with the credit, well, and I'll jump a bit because actually now that we're talking about site improvement, but the credit card reader, great. I agree that one should be fine to be under site improvement. I
Yep.
thought I put. Oh, I guess I just put it under AED. But the other thing with site improvement, so the big one is we checked our AED a little while ago. It was fine. We checked our AED a week ago. The battery died. Absolutely dead. We have no AED at the beach. So yeah, I pinged the fire department to say, do you have an extra kicking around? I've been talking to the, I have a quote for 2 AEDs for the beach because that definitely can be considered site improvement. And one would be a replacement for the one we have, so it would go in the kind of to-go bag for the lifeguards. They're not going to be here by this weekend. It's going to be about 2 weeks. But he did say the rep said, I actually think I might have 1 or 2 in the back of my car, fully usable ones that just
Good.
we have. He's like, I might let you, you might be able to borrow it for a week or 2. So nothing's a sure thing yet, but fire, police, and that rep all know our situation. And everyone's trying to see, can we scour one up for the next, it's just Saturday, Sunday, and then we should be good. But,
Yeah.
rough timing.
Yeah,
Can we
no.
snag one
and if
from a
it,
school for Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday? They have to have them in the school. It's the same budget.
That's yeah, and maybe that's the question to the police if there's no events going on or something. Maybe they can pull one. But I pick all the chiefs, Kristen, like everybody knows.
Yeah, as long as they know, there's got to be an AED somewhere in this
No.
town that can be used for 4 days.
yeah, I mean, we could check with the soccer. I could check with soccer program as well. I know I think there's an AED in the shed up top. Problem is, it's up top.
Right. And
if
you
there's-
all have
and-
games and everything.
And if there's certainly games that are still going on this weekend, right?
Exactly.
So, and I think there's also games next weekend. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Yep.
just one of those. I think we're also going to need to make sure that we have awareness that there may be people coming in saying, I've got a soccer match here that need to be allowed to pass through.
Yeah.
What about the library? They're closed on Sundays. That buys us 2 days.
That's true. Well, I'll that's a good idea, Laura. I'll again, everybody's aware of it and helping out. So I'll
Yeah, of
just
course.
specifically ask about some of those locations. I'm sure they're also thinking that. But tomorrow's really okay, you all have had a week of me asking this. So we
Right.
open Saturday. What are we doing? I know we're the ones in trouble and we're asking you for a favor, but like now we need to know what that favor if you're gonna be able to help, or not,
I'm
or what we're
thinking
gonna do.
memorial for Saturday, library for Sunday, and
Yeah.
probably the next Sunday library and figure out Saturday.
Yeah.
They're buildings that are right around the corner.
Right. Yeah. So we'll figure something out. But the quote for the other 2, let me pull it up, is high, but again, site improvement, we have it. It's definitely counts. Do I had it up earlier. I think I accidentally closed it. Yeah. So let me just scroll here. This one I'm guessing you're gonna need to vote on because it's so high. But I don't actually know if that's true. Okay, so the reason I'm saying 2 is this box down at the bottom here is a box that you can mount on the wall, and it actually is locked, so nobody can go in and just like steal an AED. So the
Right.
way you would unlock it is if you call 911, they will give you a code, and then you type in the code and the door opens. So if you had an emergency, that's how you access the AED, and that's all, explained on the box and everything. My thought process is, the one that we always have in the go bag with the lifeguards that everybody is trained on, they know where it is and all of that is obviously our main one. We're not going to spend the time trying to unlock. But if we're not around, if it's, a Sunday in September and there's a random person walking their dog and something happens, I like the idea that there's something in that space. But it does have to be locked because people steal them. So,
Yes, right.
that's the idea between 2 of them, one in the lockbox and then one in our to-go bag.
Wow, that's big
Um,
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while I don't disagree with the idea of that, well, I think the bagged ones are obviously a must-have.
Yeah.
I think the lockbox right now, let's wait for, we gotta wait for some numbers to come back up.
Yeah.
Well, this is site improvement.
Yeah, I know. I just don't want, I don't want to be overzealous there, right?
Yeah, I'm also
Okay.
concerned it's not gonna fly. This is my worry.
So I think there's budget there. I think could it be done? Yeah, but if we're gonna be asking for other monies on the backside, I'd rather
low.
save that and kind of keep it in a kitty
Okay.
somehow. I'm not sure the how, but just, you know what I mean? Just there may be other, part of being creative might end up being, well, that other money that we're not spending, guess what? Yeah, I now need you to move some of those funds over here.
True. My plan was to definitely save a handful of thousand to cover us for any overages on lifeguards, which I don't
Yep.
think we're going to run into because of closures last year.
Yep.
Right.
But that was part of my plan. And with this buy, it's sort of a, when else are we going to have the money in the budget to do it? And I do think it's something that our site could very, very, very much improve, benefit from. I do worry about people using the space, especially with how often our cameras go down. I'd hate to have, not only did this person have an issue and there was nothing there, even though it's a public space that people use, but there's not even camera footage of it because they go down every 3 weeks. So I don't know, those types of thoughts of when we're not there but we're still, it's our area.
Yeah.
It worries me.
Yep.
I think I did the math, and I think the things I was planning on spending for site improvement, I think came out to like 8,000. So my idea was basically spend half. Spend half the money, including this 67. Keep the other half, obviously, for any overages on the lifeguards, which I don't expect, but like you said, Rick, to kind of show we didn't just go on a random buying spree, but
Right,
we
exactly.
did buy the things that we kind of need.
Yeah. Yep.
So those are my
Exactly.
thoughts.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
big number.
and trust me, I like the idea. I think it's just a matter of going, is that a this year thing or is that a 2-year out thing? That's kind of what I was thinking. But
yeah, I think I just worry because like next year it's going to be the softball field that, you know, we know that's going to take a good chunk, if not all of it. We've talked about upgrades to the Ramsey building. You know, what other ADA upgrades, you know, are we thinking? We've talked about, you know, ramps yeah, like ramps out in the water if we get some sort of grant and then need to supplement it.
Yep.
I like, you know, honestly, to me, this feels like the year to do it, especially with the support of Kristen to be like, I see you all are in trouble. You know, this money can't be used for rec revolving. We can't roll it over to help there. It's not allowed. The only places we could roll it over would be concert. We don't need it. Lifeguards, we don't need it. That's,
Yeah.
I do hear you. And if you all say no, I guess I'm just kind of pushing because my brain says it is a good improvement. We have the money. We have other ideas for other years.
Does Amazon have it at half off?
Yeah.
I don't know. You might be talking me into it. It still feels like a pretty big money, but if it's just going to go to waste.
So the 1,200 is basically, that's just the yellow outside box of which this other like white hard-sided piece sits within it.
Correct.
Is that?
Yep.
So hence the reason why I would have two, because one would just go back and forth with the lifeguards. The
Correct.
other one would just sit
In the
mounted,
spots.
Correct.
you know, somewhere.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically, it's an AED that's available to the public anytime we're not open.
Yeah.
Which is the majority of time. You know, we're
Right.
really only open for 9 weeks and a handful of weekends
Yeah.
a year.
And we have to have it. Sorry to sound mean.
We only have to have one for our programs. If we say we're open, we have to have an AED on site for the lifeguards and kids that play and all that. This extra one is absolutely extra. We don't currently have it. We've never had it. I just have always wanted it and been very fearful of anything happening in those spaces the other 40 weeks of the year.
Yeah, yep. No, that makes sense. I would want it to be like wildly obvious, like almost neon lights saying, here's the AED, because I just have visions of people not knowing it's there. Some sort of accident happening and they're not knowing it's even there.
Yeah. That nice yellow box. Yeah.
Right.
You know,
and I'm picturing, you know, right by the bathrooms.
I was going to say right by the bathrooms,
Right.
like maybe right around the corner from the men's room, heading towards the office. You know,
or
kind
even
of like,
just between the two.
Between
I might just put it front and center between the two.
Yeah, I could kind of see it there for sure.
Yeah.
To me, that feels like the most obvious place. You know,
yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, kids are still kicking a ball around, and sometimes that's happening, or something in between those. And I mean, is it going to break the AED box? Probably not. But if it's around the corner, it's very much less likely.
That's true.
It's probably right. I mean, it might get hit by a softball. Maybe that's a bad thing.
You know, where you're thinking was actually my original thought, and then I thought, you know, go even more central. But you're right. You know, that's definitely the other good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess take this meeting to think about it. I need to put it in order like tomorrow because we need at least one. But at the end of the meeting, maybe we circle back.
Yeah. So batteries on these last like 4 years.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think they're rechargeable. So it's you know, this is another one of those. It's every 4 years we've got some kind of cost on this. So I guess in my mind, this is a required site improvement maintenance item. Go for it.
For the both and the box.
For the 2 and 1. Yes.
Okay. The other financial piece that may hit, because I learned a lot about AEDs over the last few days, is we are supposed to be having a a like check over by the company every year. That's what they recommend. I have literally never done that. My beach directors look over. I think 1 or 2 years I had fire just kind of take a quick once over. Not that they officially signed off, but just said, can you put your eyes on it? But I don't know if the look over by the company is I'm assuming they're gonna get paid, right? I'm assuming they you
Oh, yeah, there's
pay
an
them
extra
to come
charge.
down and watch it, make sure it's all up to snuff.
Right.
So just to head, I don't know if it costs more to look over two than one, but just to be aware, that is something we have not been doing that I think we should start doing, especially seeing the predicament we're in now. A couple months ago, we were like, great, check, reviewing all the items we need, we're good there. And the week before we open, not check.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
was
yeah,
that because it wasn't being checked on, or was that just because it was that old?
A little bit of both. So this one, they talked to me about the different options. This one uses cellular data, to send the information inside of it, so you can get the like patient information and stuff, which it would connect to our fire station, so they would just get all that. But it
Okay.
also will send information about like its battery, if it's up and running, any things going on with that.
Okay.
So the one we currently have is being discontinued this year, within 1 year of now. So getting the battery for that one never really made sense because it's going to be,
Yeah, obsolete.
outdated. And they just said moving forward, the rest of them, they want the kind that connect so that you avoid this situation, when it's getting low battery versus out of battery.
No, I like
Yep.
that. I'm just curious what that maintenance is. Are we talking $500 a year? What are we talking?
Yeah, I don't know. I can find out, but I don't know.
I guess I'm kind of with Rick. If we need to do this, let's go for these two and the really ugly sight box. But I'd want to know what that recurring fee is by way of protection, because I just see these companies and, I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood. I've been in a bad mood for a long time. I just see this being like, okay, this year it's 500, next year it's 550, the year after that. Guess what? We went up to 750.
Oh, they work for Recom?
Yes.
I mean, my rec, sorry, for my
Yeah,
rec.
my Rick.
That's what I meant to say, my rec,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4,000, 4,100,
Yeah.
45,000, yeah.
Again,
Yes.
yes, I'm in a bad mood, but I'm just feeling
No,
these things.
I'm with you, except for the comment about it being ugly. Ugly makes it attractive,
Yes.
Yes,
right? I mean,
Yep.
it does.
there's no denying what that ugly box is for.
Right.
Yes.
And until somebody tags it.
Yep.
I was
And
Sure.
then we start looking at a plastic thing to cover it for another who knows how much.
I will say I did 2 rounds of power washing. The second one yesterday was trying to get some graffiti off of the side. Luckily it's just a smiley face. But my power wash got everything but the smiley face off of the walls. All the, pencil and marker and what, I don't know about marker, but crayon and
Yeah.
and all of that. It got everything off but the actual spray paint. It's the only thing I didn't get.
All right. I got a couple of Adirondack chairs. I'll bring them your way.
Perfect. Yeah, as soon as I stopped being sore, did like 2 5-hour days of power washing down at the beach.
My Adirondacks would take you 10 minutes. I'll drop them
That's
off.
true. True. Okay, we'll so circle back to the end of the meeting. Or are you all good?
So
Did I convince you?
You convinced me, Maria. I'm a yay.
all right. So officially then I'll say we're gonna make a motion to purchase 2 new AED machines with 1 external lockbox that can be used for non-town activities, but for public safety purposes, with funds to be targeted from site improvement account.
I will second that.
Great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Motion passes.
All right, I will order that tomorrow morning because
I still
I'm
say it's ugly.
I am very stressed about not having a AAT. All right, director of support. So that was jumping around a little bit, but we were already talking about site improvement. So moving on, kids at play already covered. Reached out to Kristen. Gonna consider some options with free cash. So again, you know, Rick, maybe if you and I sit down at some point and come up with what is the specific
Yeah,
amount that we're going to be short,
yeah,
or again, range guesstimate.
yeah, we're gonna have to do some ranges
Yeah.
and gut checks. So yeah,
Financial assistance program, we only have one family applied and approved so
Wow.
far. Again, I think it's part of the perfect storm. You know, usually we're pushing it when we're marketing in March and April and all of that. So I think I've put it in a few of the emails, but I think I need to send a specific email to everyone with it because I think it was getting lost and the prime time that people looked and they kept not seeing it. And then we were telling them like it'll come. I think that just it went away and they stopped reading our emails for the little, you know, one line. So I think
Yeah.
I just need to send a specific targeted email, not target, you know, a specific email about just it is open. Here's the application. Go apply. Because we have more money than ever. Obviously, we want to help these families, and we have the spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
um,
Push that.
concert, yeah, concerts. We're pretty good to go there. Girl Scouts. I did a walk around with the troop leader. I think she's the troop leader, at least the contact for me. The other day, kind of showed her the grill and the fridges and the freezer and talked about how it all gets set up. They are thinking of getting her a little creative, maybe doing like a panini night, that kind of thing. So not necessarily
Nice.
just grilling, but it is clear that they're purchasing the food, they're selling the food, they're keeping the proceeds. They're using our grill and freezer and fridge. But otherwise, there really isn't you know, it's all on them. One thing I spoke to Rick about, and we do kind of need to figure out what we want to do about is in the past, we have offered a free meal to the bands at their
Right.
break.
Right.
The Girl Scout, you know, we've always operated at a loss, so giving away a couple extra burgers wasn't a big deal. But asking them to give away some free food, this is a fundraiser for them. They are trying to, you know, make some money. So they are going to increase prices already. And then on top of that, to ask them to give out free food. She didn't, when I mentioned it, she didn't jump at a like, oh, yes, we can do that. So I was trying to think, is that something that we are able to supplement? Are we able to have a certain amount of money that we say is for the, you know, the bands, you know, kind of we're paying for their food. So we're paying the
yeah,
Girl Scouts and the band gets the free food.
Maria, do you
yeah.
know if your contact is Dominique Ross?
It is not. No, it's a
Okay.
different troop. It's Julie. Her email is just Julie MC, so I always forget what her actual last name is, but Julie
Okay.
MC.
I don't know her. If it was Dom, I could have pushed it through, no problem. But
Yeah, Dom's wonderful. I've met her before, and honestly, Julie is too. I just, you know, it's a fundraiser, and they're trying
of
to.
course.
I think they're already stressed about increasing prices in order to
Yeah.
be profitable.
Right. Right.
You know, some of these bands have 5 members.
So what are we thinking? Like order 2 pizzas? That's not a horrible thing, considering how much we operated at a loss.
Maybe I actually didn't consider just doing different food. I was thinking, you know, can we just track how much the band would have, you know, it would have
Taken. Yeah.
cost for the band to buy the food on their own, and you know, we pay them the money.
Right.
I don't know if we're allowed to do that.
Yeah, because that's not really it's not an invoice. They're not going to issue us an invoice for that,
Right.
right?
That
Right.
sounds a little iffy. I'm kind of
Right.
thinking just order a pizza or 2, depending on band size. Just a
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. Some of those bands actually look forward to those burgers, though.
I know.
That's,
I know.
yeah, well,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we're not offering the burgers anymore, so sad
the-
for them.
Well, you said the thing about the invoice though. I'm wondering basically, can we instead of it being per night, can we do like an end of season and they invoice us for, you know, food
So,
supplied to recreation personnel, or I don't know, you know.
yeah, so why don't we send a message out to, you said Julie, right? So
Yeah.
why don't we ask, we should have a documented agreement on, hey, after each concert held, we were in agreement that there were X amount of meals that were issued, right? And assuming that they're doing like a, you know, a a meal deal type thing like we had, right? Therefore, it's easy math for us to then go, okay, at the end of the season, hey, this was concert meal reimbursement things and one big lump sum thing that could happen, right? And we can actually see if we will pay that out of the concert fee
Right.
fund,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Or
So
worst
maybe-
case scenario, parks revolving, because that's where concert, in and out used to go into concert food purchases and concert
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
So
Yeah,
this would
yeah,
almost be a concert purchase, basically.
So maybe we set an amount like, let's say 10, just for the sake of it. So any band member that partakes of food, it's a $10 expense to us technically, and then we work that out with the Girl Scouts at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, what I was thinking I might just come up with like a little form that they fill out in the night, because I'm going to be on site. They're running it
Yeah.
all, but I'm the supervisor for the ServSafe certifications and all that stuff. So
Right.
I'm going to be there every time. And maybe the form is just please keep track of what did the band order. They only get
Yeah.
one of it. Everybody only gets one. Don't give them 5 of something. But what did the band order, and
Right.
how much was each thing, and then do the, they can do the math, right?
Yeah,
Oh, they
they
got
can.
5 burgers, and I was selling the burgers at this amount, and so it cost us this much for the night, and then I just keep track of 7 of these forms, and at the
Yeah.
end we do the payout. I'll probably have to run it up Penny, I guess, to see, are we allowed to pay them? Because it is a service, we're sort of purchasing the food like we did in the past. Instead of purchasing it from BJ's, we're purchasing it from the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we probably should run it by Kenny as well, just to make sure. I'd hate for
Yeah.
all of a sudden to
Yeah,
get down to
yeah.
the 11th hour and go, I don't know if we can do that. Do they have, do they have a W-9 that allows us to cut a check to them for food purposes?
Right.
Right.
Right, because they're a
So-
nonprofit, but I don't know the rules around that.
They've got to have
Yeah,
something.
yeah, versus, maybe it's one of those things, yeah, we're probably not going to be able to do something, and we can have a pizza, like a pizza delivered and come in, a pizza or 2 delivered and coming in, for, for break, your break time window. But other than that,
Yeah.
because that way, that's something that, we can expense out easy enough.
Yeah. So a little clarification.
Yeah. All right. I'll shoot Kenny a message just to make sure we're on the right side of it. But I think my favorite idea is still push the bands towards the food at the grill. It's just kind of a nice
Oh, yeah.
thing that brings everyone together. But if not, the band food comes from somewhere else.
So another question, Maria, because
Yep.
you and I live the exact same life. If anything should happen that you aren't able to attend,
Yes.
and your licensure and, being able to oversight, is there somebody else?
So yes and no. I think Matthew said there is someone, and maybe it's even him at the library who has the supervisor certification because they do have that kitchen, so they're kind of ready for anything over there. So
Yeah.
that's my like very, very backup plan. But
Mhm.
really, one of the reasons why I started this was the things that were hitting me last year were mostly sicknesses, which I could, maybe stumble my way to show up, but I
Yeah, but
shouldn't
we
handle
don't want
food.
that. Oh, yeah, we
Yeah, yeah,
do
Well,
yeah,
not
yeah.
want that.
well,
We
you're
wanna
saying that, but
be we
it
wanna
was
be
mostly that
cognizant.
I hear you. It was mostly that I shouldn't handle food. Some nights I was even fine. I was just so sorry TMI, stuffy and snotty and whatever
No,
that
we
nobody
got
wants me
it.
touching their burgers. But I can sit in the office, right? And I'm fine. So it's mostly that. It's mostly saying if I'm on premises, even if I'm hiding in the office taking a nap, it counts, right?
I s
I can put my
I
head down.
still
I can
hate
whatever.
that. I still hate that because if
I
you are sick, you should not be working, right?
Yes, I appreciate that. I am also, we're knock on wood, mostly through the daycare never ending. Now it's more every 2 months than every week.
Yep, yep, got it.
But but who knows about a second baby? But anyway, but it's it's that's really the thing is plan A is I'm not so sick that I can't just be close enough. Like I said, I can take a nap in the car. I don't care.
I was gonna say
Right?
curl up a ball in your car, right.
Right, and just physically be there for legal reasons. Plan B is see if there's anyone anywhere who technically has this certification who's willing to be on site. I'll buy them a burger if they go on site personally, not professionally. Um, and three, we pivot and we do pizzas
Yeah.
Okay,
like we did last year.
what does that do for the Girl Scouts?
Yeah, so they would miss out
Yep,
on that night of income.
and they'd
My
be
hope
aware of that.
is Right. My hope, so I did talk to them about, they can do freezer stuff. And I said, you never know the weather. So I would always like to stock up for two events because if it's gorgeous, sometimes you sell way more. So if you stock up
Right,
for two, you have plenty. And if it's terrible weather, you haven't bought so much that now you'll never be able to catch up.
correct.
Um, and so I think they're planning on doing a similar vibe, which is mostly freezer fridge style food that then gets cooked up.
Okay,
So yes, they wouldn't be able to make money that night, but hopefully they wouldn't really lose money because it's not like food would go wasted.
okay.
But
And you said
that's,
this
ABC.
you said this licensure is not some easy peasy thing, so it's not something I could step up and do.
It's unfortunately, and they asked the same thing. They said, should we just take the supervisor one? And then they looked at it's the fee. So
Oh,
the
oh,
course
yeah.
is the course is annoying, but also the fee is hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh, that's
Um,
crazy. Per year
yeah,
kind of thing? Good grief.
not
Yeah.
per year. It is a couple years, but it's because it's the manager level. The server one is much more affordable and much easier.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
I'll actually have to see what my son has,
There you go.
right? Because I mean, he's on the line for at Hilton and working in a 19th hole like
Yeah.
uh golf course place called the
Right, there
Den,
you
right? That
go.
does food and drink. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess he has the server. Every time I was a
I
waitress or in the because you need, like I said, if you have 20
I'm with you.
staff, you only need one manager.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
But what would
So
it take for him to step up might not be all that terribly much.
Yeah,
yeah.
again,
Or maybe it
it's
is.
more
I
the
don't
it's
know.
still the money. You
Yeah,
still have to dish out the money, then you have to take the class, and the class isn't nothing. It takes a bit. The class takes a while.
sure.
No, I know. I'm just thinking if push came to shove and where you go, okay, you're in the middle of it and kind of you're active, not supervisory type thing. Does that quote unquote qualify?
Yeah, if he has the manager, which I doubt, but if he has the manager one, then yes. If he doesn't, unfortunately, it's a hard no. There has to be a manager on site.
So it's all or nothing. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which again,
got it.
which is why, and Matthew was the one who even said, I think, I'm pretty sure he said he had it or against one of his staff, and he definitely didn't offer, but he said, it was sort of a, if you really get in trouble, let's see what we can figure out.
Yeah,
type of
got it.
situation. Yeah. So
Maybe we
yeah,
can press him a teeny bit further and see who it is and if they might have more willingness than Matthew offers up off the top. I know him. He's a little hesitant at first.
he is, but he also likes to help out, and I think that's why he brought it up in the first
That's why I'm
place. Yeah.
thinking if we maybe ask, the next 3 questions.
Yeah, I might just, like you said, double check who is it? Can I make sure I have their phone number? So if I do wake up that morning type of thing, it's at least see what the deal is. Yep.
I get the feeling that if you ask those extra 3 questions, you'll get a lot more information than the first one you asked.
True. Yeah. And again, I will give him full credit. He offered it up. Rushford permit signed off fine. So we're good there. The tent is being set up on the 17th, so we're good there. So we seem, pretty ready to go for the concerts. Along there, it's we have a good system these days with that one.
You still want me announcing?
If you are willing to, I will take that every single time.
I will
even
announce
mentioned
every time I am alive to do it.
Great. I love that. Yeah,
If
I
I'm
even told the
6
Girl
feet under
Scouts.
because I don't get a freaking job, I will not announce a single thing. But let's hope that's not the case.
Great. Yeah. Any chance to not speak in public, I will take you up on it.
The van driver adores all of us, by the way.
Yes, he does.
I
think
do my,
unfortunately,
I do my
it
laundry
seems-
with him.
Oh, cute. It seems like the senior center can only come to a few concerts this year. Their driver schedule isn't coming together the way they're hoping.
Well, that's him. I'm going to talk to him about it, damn it.
There you go. Yeah, give him a little elbow. Give him a
Sunday
little push.
morning, I'm all in.
Program, so it besides yoga and volleyball, which are cruising, all the volleyball stuff got worked out, the new prices, the new registration, it kind of eventually smoothed over, we're good there. But otherwise, pickleball is asking for a porta potty for over the summer. I double checked with soccer, they are going to pull it at the end of June, so I talked to the porta potty company. They're cool to just ADA one start to finish. I'm gonna check because when soccer pulls it, either we're going to have a slight gap so that pickleballs doesn't start till July 1st because they basically spent all the money in their budget, or if it's minimal, they might have enough left. I think they left like $50 or something. So we'll see if it's 2 days how much the porta potty would be in June versus July. I think I'm just going to do it July 1st.
Got it.
Yeah.
Fast athletics, we tried for multi-sport. We only ended up running soccer, but it's kindergarten soccer or pre-K soccer, and it's adorable. We have 8 registrants, and even the other last Sunday when it was raining, people were like, "Are we still on?" So it seems like people are happy. Yeah. So good there. We talked about the beach opening. Again, staff are all but one are signed off, so we're good to go there. I'm going to be running the last few training shifts this weekend, but it's all for people who are not scheduled for this weekend. I pushed them off. Long-term goals. So in the department head meeting today, they did hand out a self-evaluation to write in your goals. It's exactly what we do every year. So just we'll have to come up with some FY27 goals. And then Rick, I know owe you that email of my dates of when did I send the newsletter, when did I those kind of the certifications.
Did you send that to me?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I know I owe you that.
I was looking at one point I was looking for it and I said, oh, I gotta remember to ping her on it, and then yeah.
So I know I owe you that. You owe Sandy the EAF form that I sent you.
Oh, sugar.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I did send it today. I did send it over to them because Sandy said, I can type it all in, and then when we receive Rick's, it'll be official. But at least I can get
Yeah,
it typed
okay.
in. So I emailed it to her. But yes, you
Yep.
got to send that over.
No, I'll do that tonight because I
Great.
know I have ink and I can print it and sign it
There you go.
as I think I talked to you when I was actually in the office
Yes.
at work. So
Yep.
I can print that and go because I can't print it from the office.
Yeah.
So but I do have I do have your supervisory form.
Great.
I will say 80% there, right?
Perfect.
And the reality is the missing 20 is really okay. What are we going to do for the goals for next
Yeah.
year? So
Yeah.
so with you saying that, I think I'm kind of in lockstep with where we're at. I do have, like, I did fill in the what's financial accounting and the fundamentals of the financial analysis. So at least I've listed them there. I'd love to, like
Yeah.
you and I had talked about, I'd love to put like a certification date on it. And then, that if we just have that stored somewhere so that way if someone asks, it can get brought up real quick and go, oh yeah, it's on file, here you go.
Yep. And
Right.
I like I said, I know I owe you those. They're saved on my desktop, just low priority, honestly, right now with
I-
everything else, but I will
I
send them
get you.
over to you.
I get you. Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
that stuff is, got it.
Last thing, so I'm gonna delete this note, but I kind of wanted to put notice of it first, which is, the last couple years we've been giving a 25% discount to youth soccer based on, they were doing the lights, and so this was our discount. We have completed 4 of 4, so I am gonna delete it now, but just double, I
Yep.
guess, stating it and making sure everybody's in agreement. Yes, we have done 4 of 4.
Yep.
And then this approval amount, I just also wanted to point that out again, only to say there were a couple things that I would like to add to this, which are bands and field trips. We added buses, but bands and field trips are going to be well beyond this and just getting the checks cut. Obviously we talk about those to a large extent. You all sign off on the expense of
Yep.
the field trips. We know the bands. So do you mind if I add those two?
No,
Great.
not at all.
Meaning, no, I don't mind you adding
Yes,
them.
correct.
Yes,
No,
just so we're, just with the recording on, just so we are 100% clear on how that no is interpreted.
Yeah.
That
I think there was-
phrasing drives me insane. People are like, do you mind? And people say, yeah. And they mean, no, they don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And then these are just my notes from last time. The end result with the bleachers, just so you all are aware, is that there does need to be some sort of concrete or gravel pad, which actually wasn't the biggest issue with the ADA bleachers. It was that unloading the truck would fall on us and assembly would fall on us.
Yeah.
And DPW made it very clear that they are not going to say they're qualified to assemble. So we would need to get some sort of company somewhere to do that.
Uh-huh.
You're not
So
going to do that, Maria?
Sorry?
You're not going to do that yourself, Maria?
Yeah, I mean, I'm already in discussion with the dentist about, hey, I got new the keypad door handles because another, people keep breaking into the gatehouse and no one has the code for how to reset the keypad. They're like $100, so I got a new one. I'm like, hey Dennis, can you install that? I think I can, but can you? And he's like, I don't know. So I might be out there with a screwdriver installing the new handle at the
on
beach.
neighbors to install a stupid thing to hold my hose. Yep, got it.
Yeah. I'm medium handy.
I am non-handy, so.
I probably could put it together.
Yeah.
So,
the bleachers or the door handle?
Yeah, the bleachers.
Okay. Well, I mean, realistically, if you and I wanna go down in the fall or something this year, and we've got them delivered and figure it out and say I don't know, maybe we get the building inspector to inspect it when we're done. He inspects my tent, something
Yeah.
like that. I'd be
Yep.
totally fine with that. But in the crunch time that we were trying to get all this ordered and delivered,
Yeah,
it
of
just
course.
seemed like a bad plan.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm just saying, I mean, this over Memorial Day weekend, I will say that my son and I changed
Yeah.
out our pool liner. So
Oh,
Very cool.
4 hours. So
so
um,
I'd say 5 minutes in my house with an automatic screwdriver and my little stupid hose holder will finally be installed.
Yes.
hey, if Laura, honestly, if that's something that you need, just say the word, because I drive by your house every day.
This is
Yeah.
true. I have somebody signed up for it, but it's been falling through. So if it continues to fall through, I will put an X on the siding where I want it.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
No, hey, that's fine.
I will say I have most tools and again medium skill. So if you need if you need help, I might be able to help, but I probably have the tool to help.
I've been told after being in obstacle course racing for many years that I'm not even allowed to hold a hammer,
Yes.
let alone cut vegetables. So
Fair enough.
What do you need to cut vegetables for? Just stick a
You know,
fork in it and chew them.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
exactly.
You know, it's
Exactly.
called the
Toss
raw
radishes
diet,
into the
right?
salad. Just
Yeah,
toss
yeah,
them in
yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
That is it. I
Okay.
am done.
That
Cool.
sounds great. It's so great to see you guys. And I know
Me
you can't
too.
see me, but it's so great to
See
see you
you.
guys again. And I apologize for being MIA, but one of these days my life will settle.
Yes.
And we're still hopeful and in your corner that will happen for you.
Absolutely.
So
Thank you. Much appreciated. I will
Yeah.
always keep you apprised.
very good. So I think the only one thing that I forgot, because I didn't remember to write down specifically, Maria. So we had talked about obviously the dugout piece we had deferred because that whole project was put on hold, and then use cases for the Racine building, right? We didn't really have anything going on there, but there was one thing that you said, but we did end up doing this, which tended to be kind of a replacement thing.
The dugout fell through, and then I did get a company in to do a quote of the vinyl flooring of the upstairs Racine building. Is that what you're talking about?
You mean of the Ramsey building or the
Sorry,
Racine building?
of the Ramsey building.
Of the Ramsey building. Okay. Yeah. I do remember us talking about that in terms of another, potential
Plan B.
piece there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think at the beginning of the year, and you actually even have it. So, the potential uses of the old library, right? Which is Racine building.
Okay,
So
Racine building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, honestly, I walked in there once and went, oof.
Yeah.
I think so. Actually, in the department head meeting today, Mike Antonellis was saying he resubmitted for that grant, which would work on updating the Ramsey and Racine building bathrooms, I believe, for kind of ADA and various things. But I think I remember my last conversation with Joe about it. We were talking about how it would be a really good space, but who's on the hook for the upgrades it needs? It needs the bathroom still. That was kind of one of the big pushes. The carpet's still moldy, musty. There's still mice probably. It's all the same stuff that got library pushed out exists.
Yes.
And would need to be addressed before we could go in. Is that us? Are we paying for that?
Right.
That does not feel like us. No.
Right.
Well, no, but I think I think I think what we had written that up as is just as it reads in your director's report, right? To review and document potential uses, on our behalf, right? So there's nothing written in stone, but I think Joe, at the time we did this a year ago, I think Joe had high expectations that we would be able to maybe be able to offer something in the building. And that whole thing kind of just, went south. So.
Yeah, but it is something, again, whether it's site improvement money in one of these years or something. So what I learned for the Ramsey building flooring is that flooring's expensive.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
But that
yes.
is a type of thing that's going to be either needed or at least really nice to make that space usable. If you're talking about an after school program, a winter program, something like that, yes, we can maybe get a company in to deep clean the carpet, but then one good winter, are you doing it again, every year type of thing.
Yeah.
But by expensive, I mean, we're talking about the cheapest end of the Ramsey building, 35,000.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just if you throw a carpet over top of something that's already breaking, it does you nothing. And then you've got an expensive carpet over top of a floor that's maybe termites, whatever. Yeah.
Right. And I will say they actually, the guy peeked under the rug at the Ramsey building and everything and said this flooring's in really good shape. We would have to do minimal leveling and repair, and we're still talking about over 30,000.
Yeah.
Which one is the Ramsey?
The one at the beach.
The beach.
Okay, got it.
Yep. And the reason I bring that up is to say that sort of best case scenario of we've got 9 months of the year that we could get it done, so we don't have to try to do, busy season for them. I told them, this isn't public facing, so give me the ugliest looking flooring that you have. Do you have mismatched pieces from old jobs? Give me those,
I'll donate mine.
Yeah. They said they don't do that, but that's fine. But I said, realistically, this is for health and safety more than appeal, visual appeal. So, and all the reason I'm saying all of that is all of that we're still talking about over 30 grand. So to talk about the Ristine building,
right?
If it's anything but perfect, like the Ramsey building situation, we're probably in the 40 grand
easy
area.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings us into some of the same questions and conversations we've been having in the CPC meeting, right? Of going, Holy Angels is coming back up again, of, just being able to secure the envelope, right? And that just means, how do you make it air and watertight, right? So it's being preserved, and, just until there's a plan, right? And, and I get it, and yes, we should, but, I don't want to, I don't think we want to spend just to continue to spend on something else and then figure out exactly what it may or may not be getting used for, just to spend more a third time type of thing, right? It's kind of that death by 1,000 cuts, and going, we need to stop getting out of the business of buying all these things without a plan, right? That's is really what it ends up coming down to. So
and indoor outdoor carpeting in the Ramsey, it's going to be icky realistically within 5 years. So
I mean, now granted, there's been carpet in there for quite a while now, and it is what it is, but
it gets gross fast. So why spend 30 grand if you're going to have to do it again in 5 years because it's gross again? That's not worth it.
Yeah, versus something that's more linoleum or something that you can just Swiffer and be done, right?
Luxury vinyl, like my current house. Yes.
Luxury vinyl. There we go.
Trust me,
I mean-
I said, what if we take the word luxury out? He still said we're
It's
we're in
this-
the 30 grand.
It's the same cost. Yes, the luxury buys you nothing. It's just a pretty name.
He was actually describing there's a material, he said, I have it at my kitchen and like mudroom type of thing. And I guess it's a lot of like restaurant kitchens and stuff have it.
Yes.
And it's basically it's not pretty. It's kind of those old school like squares like you'd see at the floor of a cafeteria in
Right.
elementary school, right? It's that it's
Exactly.
that visual. But he's like, it lasts forever and it's
Forever.
easy to clean, it doesn't mold, and yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Maybe we just get some like Flex Seal, right? I mean, that's, that should do the trick, right?
Yeah.
We'll just go out there and toss super glue across the whole thing.
Yeah.
You all, I wish I had recorded it. It was like a comedy skit. I was like, okay, what if we take out the carpet? What if you prep the floor, you sell us the vinyl one fiscal year. And then after the summer, we'll take out the carpet and then you prep the floor, but then we'll put in the vinyl.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah. We tried playing that game and going, hey, can we buy this at this point, and then the following year we'll use this to install it, and right there's 16 on one end, 16 on the other end. There's 32. Good.
32. I kept
Exactly.
telling him, I was like, 32 is the magic number, and he goes, you're not gonna get 32. I'm like, all right.
Nope,
He goes,
they
"Even
told
if
me
you
what
take-"
my house was. I could have played it 16 ways from Sunday and it still came down to that same dollars.
Yeah. So okay.
Not happening.
All right. So let's see what else we got going on here. We have field things are on here, which actually I didn't do any prep work on. However, we probably should have. What did we do with Donna's request for Leland for softball? Did we approve that?
Well, right now, all of our requests are July, August. Except this one. So, oh, this was the duplicate. But anyway, let me share. So I'm gonna say yes because it's not sitting here. I think we did. Let me switch over to the accepted. So this is our pending, just so you can look at it real quick.
Yeah. Okay.
And I should probably explain this one in a second. Whenever you get a chance to kind of look it over. Let me expand the time because they're not showing up. Okay, so these are all our, oh yeah, so Donna, the Monday ones.
Yeah, so they had so there was a Monday at, okay, so we approved them both.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Monday at Leland.
because one's at Kiwanis, the other one's at Leland. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Yep.
I haven't heard, I'm assuming they're using it, and I'm assuming that they're figuring out the logistics because I know Kelly's there on Mondays too.
Okay. Yeah, I think you had talked about splitting, and I thought you worked it out
Yeah,
with them.
I did. I just didn't know. I don't remember what ended up becoming of it, or whether or not they're still at Nipmuc for a couple of weeks and planning on coming over and all that. I mean, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna jump in for a second. I've got 3 curfew violators out there that I got to toss into the coop because they're going to get in big trouble. I'll be right back
Okay.
with you.
All right.
Okay. Actually,
Um,
I'm glad we pulled this up. When we have a say Upton Historical Society, they want to have their thing on Saturday. So I'll let you finish, but I want to remember to talk about that
What, this Saturday?
this Saturday.
Oh, so they didn't have it last Saturday
Yeah,
because obviously
Rain.
wind, rain,
Yeah.
this Saturday is supposed to be okay. Is there, did someone else ask about something for this Saturday?
I don't think so, but we were shooting emails around and Chris responded, but I wanted to see your thoughts because basically the question is parking. Because, we have a 80-degree opening Saturday
Yeah,
and they're asking for 8 to 10 free spots. We already give them the pavilion for free, but I don't know if I agree with 8 to 10 free spots.
I think we'll end up being okay. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be that warm. The water's not that warm yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I think we'll be all
And
right. I think
and
we,
I guess it gets busier, in the afternoon.
yeah,
Or, if they're done by 1:30, most people come later. Okay. All right. I'll tell them yes.
yeah, let's let it go. I mean,
Okay.
I think we can. So
Great.
yeah, for some reason I was thinking that there was something else, someone else that was inquiring about something, but I don't. If the request isn't there already, then I think we're okay.
The thing so there have been a bunch of emails, so you might have been seeing this one. So this one, Assembly of God mission, I've been working with them. It's actually a church out of Milford. They're bringing 120 people. So I did explain that's 2 lifeguards and they're doing it all day. It's actually 9 to 5. They wrote 8 to 8, but I approved them at 9 to 5. Or 9 to 6 because it's when our lifeguards are there. And so they're paying the full amount of time for the pavilion. They're paying all of those hours for 2 lifeguards. So 2 additional in the morning and 2 additional in the afternoon. And paying for parking.
Okay.
And they're
I'm
going to
happy
prepay for
way.
parking where we reserve it.
Okay.
Yep.
And
just letting
I
you know.
mean, yeah, okay.
Yep. I mean, it's $530 before parking, so I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, no, I'm
Nothing
I'm
else
with you.
going on
So
that weekend.
yeah. Yeah, no, you know what? That's fine. I'm hopeful that they're going to pay and not sit there and say, well, you should give us this for free.
Yeah. The reason I think it has gotten even this far is so this woman, Stefania, she's been great. She did an initial call to get a guesstimate on the price. She did a follow-up call to say, hey, did you do the math on the lifeguards? What's that going to be? We swapped a couple of emails, which is what I wasn't sure if you were seeing. She put in a request. We talked after the request and she double checked on, cash or check or online or whatever. And we talked through the details of prepaying with the parking passes. And she's even saying, I'm going to come 3 days before and get the prepaid. So at this point, it would be crazy to me if they don't pay.
Yeah.
And, if they don't pay, they don't get the thing. So it does seem, when she asks specifics, can we play guitar, no amps, like they seem pretty serious about a real event.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, we talked about so I don't know if we're ready to do anything here. I know, I haven't done the puzzle. I know you usually do it.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of these was for today, I think, right? This Nipmuc High School thing. So I don't know if they did that or not, but if they did, then they did, and I don't know.
This isn't the one that they were calling me about, though.
Okay.
Unless it's the one, unless it's a different person under the name. They do this every year, but there was another one where I was talking to the person and they were gonna talk to Dennis and all of that, but it wasn't this human. So
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Well,
Yeah.
who knows, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that one, Yeah, that one looked like it was for today. So, yeah, and I know there's football. I think there's another football thing that's out there somewhere. I don't know exactly where that is. I believe the conversation was with Dan. So like when I had a conversation with Schmidt and Dan, there's the regular football activities, right? Like with pads and all that type of stuff. And I think that was planned to be in at a Mendon Field.
Okay.
I don't think one of these other ones, I don't think we're going to be able to do, which is that field hockey one, Bodio, right? Alana Bodio.
Mhm.
I know she's asking for just Mondays, but you know, it might we be able to do it? Maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I'd hate to start throwing field hockey up there, knowing that high school soccer for Nipmuc is going to be needing it a couple times a week in addition to the town program, so it's already going to get its fair share of use. Honestly, I think that's one that they're going to say no, we don't have room for this, and they're going to have to kick that one over to Grover. I think. I had already talked to Dan about that, and Dan goes, well, I don't think Grover's being utilized as much. It's flat, and there should be no reason why they can't do field hockey over there.
Okay.
So
that makes sense. And if it's only one day, yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Hey Rick, do you know who kind of oversees the schedule for the VFW baseball field?
VFW.
The actual VFW people. There's not like
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, I shouldn't say that, right? So, I think the baseball program does work with somebody. So someone from Nipmuc Youth Baseball probably is the liaison to the contacts at Upton VFW for time use purposes. So,
okay.
But those those two fields are definitely owned by the VFW, and
right.
I'm not saying we can't use them, but they're definitely controlled. They give us the yes, no on being able to use them or not use them.
Yeah, so actually that wasn't even the reason. Mike Antonellis asked me if I have access to their schedule, because when various groups try to plan various things at the community center, sometimes it's fine, and other times it's crazy with parking, if there's a baseball game, if there's the car show, if there's whatever. So just trying to say, like, where can we get access to what's going to be going on that night before planning bigger events?
Yeah,
so I was just trying to get a name for him.
Yeah. Baseball. I just wonder whether or not there's something on the Nipmuc Youth Baseball site in terms of teams calendar. I don't know what these calendar things look like, what it means, but okay.
That's all.
No, we'll see what we can do. Let's see, Ashland. VFW Upton. Oh yeah, it's posted. There's a calendar.
Okay.
Cool.
Can you email me that link?
Does it? I was gonna say, does it work? Yes, I can.
Amazing.
I was gonna throw it in the chat, but it doesn't look like it wants to allow for chat. So.
Got it.
Like the chat in this. So anyway, but yeah, no, I can send it to you because it shows like there were. It looks like there were two things going on tonight. There's one thing tomorrow night, but two things on Saturday. So, you
Yeah.
know,
Just like I said, sometimes he's planning ahead at, hey, I have a bigger meeting. I need to hold it at the community center, and then
yeah.
parking and all that.
Yeah,
So,
and if it's a matter of saying, oh, okay, here's a link to that baseball schedule, and then you can put in the location for VFW, and bada boom, bada bing, there it is.
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
I mean, it's done after the 13th right now, and there's nothing else on it for this year.
Oh, so it
yeah,
opens
and
up.
I think it probably was just a general comment of, hey, we've gotten burned twice. Let's figure out
Oh,
where
yeah.
to find this information. I
Yeah.
know the car show on Tuesdays has been the big one.
Oh yeah.
Because they set up early.
Well,
And
so
we have yoga, and that's, not that it's
Right.
huge, but car show, yoga, and then add a third and you're
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's very busy. I've been by there to like, I'm dropping off books. Oops.
yeah, there's only been one game on Tuesday down there.
Okay.
Well, according to the schedule, maybe there's been makeup games or something else that's been going on that isn't officially posted or something, but yeah.
Well, and then there's just a lot of kids. Once the weather gets
Oh, yeah.
nice,
No
I
doubt.
practically got run over by a couple of guys on their silly skateboard thingies. And I'm like, guys, watch it.
What, the bikes that go 40 miles an hour? We don't.
Thankfully, it wasn't those. It was actually just plain old skateboards, but they could have taken out an old lady like me pretty easily.
Not old.
I'm just heading for this stupid drop box. Leave me alone.
That wasn't a drop box. That was the AED machine. Just
Yeah.
I should have known it by its ugliness.
right. Go ahead, say it out loud. Only you, Rick.
Bring
Well,
it
and
bring it
also
back.
only you, Laura. So well played on both of our parts.
So
And Maria's like, I didn't hear a single thing. Nope.
I'm into this. Yeah.
I honestly though, I make off comment ones like that at work at Dell all the time too, and then laugh, and everyone calms down. It's all good.
It
Yeah.
works. It
It
works.
absolutely
although maybe
works.
Sometimes it doesn't, because apparently I don't have a job. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
One of the
It's-
principals I'm interviewing with called one of my references and said, "Does she have a sense of humor?" And the woman's like, "Oh yeah."
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you can check that box off twice, maybe 3 times. Sure.
For Laura, competent
Yeah.
goes way down below. Funny. Competent, maybe.
All
Good
all
luck.
good. Well, good that you're getting other interest queries.
Yep.
So
Yep,
leave it
I'm
at
like
that.
7 interviews in different places. Something will come up.
Great.
Okay. Let's see. I think so I don't think I have anything that we necessarily need to approve right now, although there's a couple in July, I guess. So I may need to circle back around with a couple of those folks just to find out exactly what's going on. There's one in there that I'm just looking. So I did log in, and so I'm looking at it and going, okay, a soccer camp at West River for a week, and going, I'm not sure if Dennis and Neil and company are gonna like that one,
Mm.
but
Yep.
we'll see. So that's a newer one that came out of the blue. Okay, so let's see. Other things, what did we have on after that? Oh, did I close the agenda? I did. Okay, other topics. So, of course, I don't know when Chris is going to be back. Do we try to do something first, like second week of July? I know
I think we should try. I don't think he was going to be gone for all that long. He just said he was going to be kind of like inaccessible
Yeah,
for this. He didn't predict he'd
Yeah.
have internet kind of stuff.
okay,
I don't think we all need to meet, but Rick, just, probably next week.
yeah, yeah,
You and I need to touch base about some of those bigger things.
No doubt.
And it's, this month is fiscal year closeout. So even today I was going through the, Vadar stuff, and
Yeah.
there are 2 things that need to get popped over to Park. So, little things like that
Yeah.
need to be addressed. I don't think it's things that we all need to meet, but if something pops up,
yeah,
or even,
What-
field requests, it might be another one of those 10-minute meetings somewhere.
yeah, yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
call me in if anything like that comes up.
What's, what days have you been going in?
Kind of random. I was power washing yesterday. I went in to do paperwork at town hall today. I'm kind of piecing
Yeah.
it together like that. So nothing consistent.
So.
But I can make next
I-
week. I think Monday's tough, but the other days I mostly
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, so my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are yuck, but if it's, if,
Does
Like
is
my whole
Monday?
life, Rick.
well, no, yeah, I know, but like literally, sometimes I have to I may have to put a meeting for 5 minutes just so I can walk to the bathroom, right? I
Yep.
mean, otherwise I am, I'm back to back. I mean, I got off a call at like 1:15 today, and the girl who sits across from me, and she came in at like 8:15, and I was already on a call, and she goes, Rick, that's the first time I've seen you not on a call at like
It's-
1:15 straight.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The back to back to back to back to back. It's insane. Yep.
Yeah.
You got a
yeah,
pencil in your
so
bathroom break.
yeah, exactly. So
Um,
needless to say, I did
you-
run, but then yeah.
Yeah. Would Monday work for you? I can make Monday like afternoon better, because you said Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is just a no-go.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
Friday.
So early, well, so and I know things. I mean, Fridays certainly are a lot more open.
Let's do that. Let's do Friday.
Like like a Friday after lunch type thing.
I'm the 12th. I'm free all day. I have no meetings. So
Okay. Yeah, I normally have a couple in the morning, but usually by 1 I'm, not that I don't have other things work-wise to do, but I can certainly book off and then kind of go from there. So my only thing will be is I will have MTalk. MTalk is the Mass Tournament of Champions that's coming up. I'll literally be in Lancaster and Leominster area from the 25th through the 28th.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like 15-hour days on my feet outside on a soccer field.
Sounds like fun, Rick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Good for you.
Yeah, and it'll be my
Really?
sixth year in a row, and like the final one with like keys in my hand.
Ah,
Yeah.
you better wear like a cape of some sort for this one. then.
That might not be a bad idea,
I
right?
think you should. I think you should.
Right.
These, go to a local pawn shop, or not even that. Go to a thrift store. You can get a cape.
I probably could. If
I'm
I
thinking
do that
50
with-
cents for a
with
cape.
my big bucket hat and everything else.
Yes.
really pull it
Yeah.
together.
It might look a little funny.
I still think you should go
Good,
for it. I
as
mean,
it
why
should.
not?
Yeah, well, yeah. So-
All right. Well, so just text me, Friday leading up, hey, Friday
Yeah,
at this
yeah,
time
yeah.
works best for me. Like I said, I right now I have no meetings, and town hall closes at noon, so anything I would have would be before you're free anyway.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then we can, then we kind of start taking some swags at what we're thinking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
The
Yep,
next
and-
meeting would put us at July 2nd. I'm guessing none of us think that's a great plan, although I will have nothing to do, but you guys might.
I mean, I'll be working because we don't close.
Yeah, that might not be bad. I don't necessarily have something going on then either, so.
Should we do that then? Tentative for the 2nd?
Let's pencil it in, but I'm gonna. Chris tends to have a lot of like family stuff,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna guess he's doing things. But let's
Yes,
let's
but
at
let's
least try.
try.
Yeah, and then we can socialize it with them and see if it works. If not,
Push it away.
I think we were thinking that we would, at least for July and August anyway, would stay with a Thursday cadence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Yeah,
Okay.
let's aim for that and we'll see what happens after that, but the 2nd works for me.
okay.
Great.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks. So good to see you guys again.